It's alright.
Now we're live. Doesn't matter.
Just smell a shit off that seat.
Hang on, we're live.
Hello,
everybody. Good evening and welcome along to the Tuesday Club World Cup special on a night that England lost one to Colombia. We've got, of course, our resident England fan in the house. That's Stephen. We've got our resident.
He's
Scouts,
only a fucking blow-in.
Scouts, not English, but all the Scouts have turned English this World Cup. Ray Dickinson.
Yeah, I've never seen so many Scousers turn Tory.
We've got our own Colombian head in Shawnee FC. How are you?
Yeah. I'm right.
Devastated.
How is
Devastated.
Buenas noches, mi amigo. ¿Cómo estás?
Bollocks.
El Boloxo.
El Boloxo, indeedio. Where are we? So, Anyway, there's Ray back. Right, so this is it, lads. This is the Tuesday Club. We've just witnessed England qualify for the quarterfinals of the World Cup.
Yeah.
In 2018.
Surreal.
And I know, Ray, you are very happy. You were very down.
Very down.
I wasn't. I believed.
I was very down.
You did believe. Stephen, I will hand you over.
Thank you very much, Philip.
And there's the wireless mouse.
Thank you, my friend.
Henderson is crap, many are saying. I think people say that no matter what's going on ever. So first of all, let me just do one thing so that we can put this out as a podcast. So good evening to everyone that's listening on the podcast, because I forgot to give you the intro and the 4 stars. So that's Stephen Daly, that's Ray Dickinson, that's Shawnee FC. It is myself, the host, Phil Casey. Tonight we're going to be talking about that wonderful win that England have just experienced in the World Cup, as we said, to go through to the quarterfinals. Let me remind you all.
New high.
Let me remind you all that in our first pre-World Cup special, I did predict that England would make the final and win it, and they would win every single knockout round on penalties. On penalties, and Harry Kane will be the tournament's top scorer. And we will replay that to death if that comes true, right? So that's it. So can I start with you, Stephen Daly, because you've watched England through many tournaments, you're a huge fan of them, etc., etc.
As much as people won't believe that yet.
I know, but can I ask you, are you happy with what's going on tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, am I happy? Yes, I am happy they qualified and got through to the next round. They've game against Sweden now, which is yet again winnable. I don't think Sweden are any better than Colombia. They did a very England thing, which was to shit the bed after a period of prolonged dominance. And well before that goal, I think they really had just stopped doing what they were doing well. Colombia were absolutely rattled. Their heads were gone, and I think a weak referee saved Colombia in that game. The way they dealt with that referee and were up in his face, a stronger referee bins at least one of them for that sort of shit, and the rest of them pipe down and cop on. They got away with murder there, to be honest with you. I think England were poor enough, being fair. Harry Kane didn't do a huge amount in around the box. Obviously he scored his goal, but he won a lot of good free kicks around and taking the pressure off them, which I think the subs were a little bit puzzling for me. I think they were just. They were I can see what he was trying to do; it just didn't work. So I think that was a little bit unusual. But
right, you were a bit down the dumps after the save by Pickford from the Uribe shot, which leads to the goal that Colombia then scored equaliser with. Is there a sense of justification that Pickford ends up being the hero with that wonder save on the 5th penalty?
Yeah, I suppose if you put it that way. If you put it that way, I suppose you've got a point. But I couldn't believe what England did in those last sort of 10 minutes. They just basically contrived to give it away in some respects. Kind of all started with the Walker kind of absolute brain fart, which we've seen him do against Liverpool, haven't we? It's not the first time he's done that. And then from that moment on, it was so nervy, and like the save was unreal. Like the save from Pickford was unreal, and then from the corner it was almost inevitable, wasn't it? Terry Mina is his first name?
Terry Mina, yeah.
Is it?
Terry
Holiday
Mina.
Resort in Mallorca.
Holiday Resort. No, it's in Costa del Sol.
He was looking like the Colombian Sacco all game for me.
He wasn't. He's an immense defender.
Yeah, I think he's a decent defender.
Terry Mina. I'd have him sat alongside Virgil van Dijk. And I said it before the game, and people went, and then he scored it, and I was like,
lovely.
Yeah, did you like
it? The extra time was a non-event. And then it was almost inevitable that it was going to penalties.
Shawnee, can you understand how Colombia were so cagey for the first, more or less, 75 minutes until they had nothing to lose and threw everything at England? And they looked the better side through extra time and also for those last 50 minutes when they got to go.
It was probably something that they do with having 75 strikers on the pitch. they went balls out. I was surprised England, that's the thing, with England. When I was saying to Steve, they went 1-0 up and everything went out the window. They're not used to holding onto the ball. They're not used to moving the ball. They stuck to their game plan.
They're not used to winning. They're not used to winning knockout games.
Because that's the thing. It's a very young side. Yeah. This is their first as a squad experience of tournament football, and that showed there. You know what I mean? And they wrote that look, and they went through in penalties. But Jesus Christ,
everyone's one salvation here who don't like the English side and don't find anything likeable about them, because there is literally nothing likeable about that England side, right? They're managed by a Mongo. They've got they've a horrible bunch of players. This thing they're a likeable bunch of players.
They have a likeable bunch of players.
They don't. Lingard is a knacker, right? There's just so many horrible players in that England team. No, just so many. There is Harry Kane, unless you're a Spurs fan. Eric Dyer, unless you're a Spurs fan. Walker, unless you're a Spurs fan. Who else is? It's Spursland. I hate them.
Dyer was.
And do you know what gets to me? I fucking predicted they'd win. And do you know what even gets to me more? No matter what I do, they are going to win this. Why? Because there isn't one decent side in that competition. And somehow, right, fucking Japan are going to be back in and get to the final, and England play Japan in the final. That's what's going to happen.
I heard San Marino.
Throw me hat at it.
No. Look, quarter final. If they'd have went out tonight, it would have been at the start of the tournament. If you had said England go out in around the 16, regardless of what side of the draw they were in, everyone would have been an uproar. A quarter final chance now, a game against Sweden, to play in a semi-final against Croatia
or Russia.
So they're both 50-50 games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So look, whatever you feel about the English national team, they actually have got a chance here to better the so-called goaling generations that went before them.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
if they do that, hats off to Southgate.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, anything from now on is a credit.
Yeah.
He's got through the first knockout game, quarter-final, semi-final, final, whatever they reach.
No. If they're going in now, this talk of playing freedom, they have to beat a Swedish side. I'm
not saying they don't have to beat that side. What I'm saying is, at the start of this tournament, he made it very clear, we have not got to the knockout stages since 2006. That was his aim. You can see that his aim was to get out of the group, get to the knockout stages. He's done that. He's now won his first knockout game, and he's up against a very average, well-disciplined, well-drilled Swedish side. But I think that could be a fucking bore fest.
I just think
which the Swedish game,
the Swedish England game.
It could be another penalties. I mean, why wouldn't it be?
Yeah, Southgate's is a. Substitutions were
telling you right. You want to get those beta blockers to get yourself all the way to the final. A load of aspirin into the house before Ray Dicko.
But we were joking about it before the end of the game, but you have to be honest, that's a mental barrier climbed today for England. You know what I mean? If they'd have crumbled there would have been England out in penalties again, and the Germans weren't even in the competition.
Two amazing things happened there tonight. Number one, England won a game in the knockouts on penalties, and two, I found a cunt with better hair than me. Yeah. Those two things.
I'm not even joking. Steve was here
trying to take a picture of a grey fellow with grey hair.
If anybody knows who it is in England's backroom team, he was 3 down from Southgate. Handsome bastard and amazing hair. I mean, top level hair. Top level hairage.
Wasn't bad, gone. Look, moving along. Henderson tonight. Okay, the penalty he missed. I'm going to say something. I think normal circumstances that he scores that penalty. However, he puts it at a horrible height, which is always there for a keeper to save, and it's a very decent save from Ospina.
I think also his approach, you were calling it, he was trying to do keepy ups and trying to basically.
He's trying to outcool everyone.
He was just trying to take his mind completely away from the situation, and generally that thing doesn't happen, does it? You see it all the time.
Yeah,
a player goes up and does keepy ups and whatnot, and somehow he doesn't score.
Uribe is the one. It's probably a very, very good penalty. It's just very unlucky. He gets the underside of the top corner and it comes back out. That's an unlucky penalty.
Well, that's where the tide turns, isn't it?
Yeah,
really?
Yeah. Henderson gets bailed out at that point.
Yeah.
And fucking that's England turning it on its head. But listen, they've done well. They're into the quarterfinals now, and when's that game? Saturday,
3 o'clock.
A lot of debate there now, Stephen, on this game was all to do with VAR and the use of VAR or the non-use of VAR, and the way players now, the cunning players, the likes of the Colombian players, are now actively calling for VAR for every single instant possible. Now, there was that goal that Carlos Bacca scored, and I'm still a bit confused as to why.
Having cheated, why they then called for VAR to show they didn't cheat.
Just in case.
Look at VAR, I didn't cheat. It clearly shows on VAR you cheated. Here's a yellow card.
No, what happened was that the second ball came back onto the pitch, but it didn't come back onto the pitch because the linesman stopped the ball from coming onto the pitch.
Yeah.
So technically, it never came back onto the pitch. So they should have been allowed play away. So
referee's call.
I know. Well, at the same time, they should have had a man sent off for a headbutt.
They absolutely should have. You know, as I said, they should have had a man going for the badgering. But you can say Henderson overplayed it with holding his face and stuff like that. He gets a smack in the gob from a head, and the head is intentionally thrown towards him. That's a sending off offence, and that changes the whole impact of the game.
Trying to be clever, wasn't it?
Like, your man was trying to be a sneaky little fucker, and he should have went. He should have walked for it.
Okay, lads, looking at it, let's just talk about in general the games that have gone, the teams that are left in this. Like, it really is the side of the draw England's in. You couldn't have scripted it any better for them.
Yeah, it's like it feels a bit like I can understand Shawnee's disappointment in what's going on right now, because for me, it's a bit like a couple of years ago when United had that easy path through the Europa League, and you just knew they were going to win it and they were going to get into the Champions League. It's a bit like it's opening up for England in a way that is unimaginable. If you look at the other side of the draw,
Shark Tank.
The teams on that other side of the draw is crazy. Uruguay, who wants to come up against Uruguay? No one. Brazil, who wants to come up against Brazil? No one. Belgium, I mean, you know, they can turn any situation around.
Yeah, but like, this is the thing. You're saying it's opening up for England to win it, but they still have to play one of those teams.
It's opening up for England to do what they haven't done for a long time, and even getting to a semi-final. The hysteria that will go around that will be ridiculous. You know, so the fact that they've got this opportunity to get through beyond the quarters into the semis and all that sort of stuff, it is ridiculous on one level. For me, the winner is 99% certain to come from the other side of the draw. Okay,
and I accept that. We'll talk about the other side of the draw at the moment. But looking at who's left in England's side, who poses the biggest threat? Croatia or Russia?
You know what? I think Russia nearly would suit England. I think England could be picked apart by the technical passing and the ability that Croatia have. I think Russia are going to be full of run and bluster. But I think England can cope with that.
I think that runs out by the semi-final. So if Russia did,
they've loads of juice left. Those boys are on a fucking intravenous.
Trust me, if that runs out before the semi-final, Putin is going to have someone's head on the block. If
City could get through 60 games on the juice, they can manage.
Hang on a second.
7 or 8.
Hang on. At least Russia has no history ever of a systematic doping program during a major tournament in their country. At least there's none.
There hasn't even been Netflix documentaries or anything made about it.
Wasn't about that.
There isn't a single hidden room in any one of them stadiums.
None. And they don't even have dummy people just standing
doubles,
there. Just standing there. I will do my wee now.
Oh, I'm weeing into the cup. Oh, that was so nice.
Yeah, like this. Just. I'm so hydrated. My pee is so clear.
And the Netflix documentary will come out a week before Qatar.
Because they don't want to go.
The football team of Russia, that's not Russia, will play for Qatar. But outside of Russia,
Croatia got to be. You know.
I get it, and it probably comes back from the idea of when we watched Liverpool and Real Madrid, the way a team that's technically capable with the ball can just maintain it and take the heat out of another team.
It's saying that they were poor the other night.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I think. Do you know what it is? I think it's a 50. It's
toss of a coin.
It's a 50-50, 50-50 games.
Well, I'll give you one. I think more so Russia would potentially, outside of the juicing issues and the whole lot, right? But I think Russia potentially have the very quick vertical transition that will pick apart the poor possession part of the English game. England give the ball away an awful lot.
They do.
We even seen it towards the end of extra time. They couldn't string a 2-3 yard pass together.
You can look up, but there's another thing that would actually come into play if they go on to play Russia, and Harry Kane has many now. Six. Yeah, he's 3 penalties, doesn't he? Now they have to be scored. Now I'm not taking away from the fact that he scored penalties.
As well,
and a lot of the penalties have come from that argy-bargy at the corner.
Yeah.
Refs are going to be reluctant to give them against Russia
as it keeps going. Yeah.
And you've seen the game against Spain the other day. Like Ramos was wrestled to the ground. Like it was like a Sergio Ramos takedown, esque takedown, and the ref just waved on. So. Like that is a factor. I mean, it definitely is a factor.
Take the Panama game out the equation, because that's a bit of an anomaly. England aren't creating a lot of chances. Like, they weren't really testing Espina tonight. They didn't really test Belgium. They didn't really sort of test Tunisia massively.
Yeah.
You know, except for the first 15-20 minutes. So there's not a lot of goals in the England side. Doesn't feel like it.
They beat Panama.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know.
But that then takes us on to the other side of the draw, because when you look at the other side of the draw,
Shark Tank,
you've got like Brazil, France,
Belgium,
Italy.
1974 Brazil.
You got Zico, you got fucking
Rivaldo, Rivellino, Pele, Uruguay.
Yeah, no, that's a
Uruguay
really
horrible.
It is a Shark Tank over the other side when you look at it.
It's a horror.
You've got Uruguay, France, Brazil, and Belgium.
Yeah.
Talking to Shark Tank, did you see that clip?
Is it France, Uruguay, and Belgium, Brazil?
Right.
Yeah.
The 2 games.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
What?
Did you see that clip on Twitter?
Yeah. Fucking dope.
What
did she expect?
She put her hand into a shark tank.
They were feeding them.
They were feeding a shark on a boat in the ocean. This isn't like in a fucking thing, right? And she's standing on the edge and she's amazed that the shark attacks her as she's feeding the shark.
Takes her fingers off. Look, she put her hand in them inside. Do you ever get a little shock when you put your thumb
to the edge and
you put your thumb on the top of a battery? Oh, you cunt it. She's like, fuck.
Shark is swimming around going, this isn't really happening.
Yeah.
There's no way this has happened. These idiots are standing here with blood dripping into the... Do they want to be eaten? Do they?
Listen, I'm looking at the comments here. The only person in the world that hates the English national team more than AJ Smith is Phil, and he's sitting here beside me, and so it's definitely not him in a boner. Jesus Christ!
But anyway,
he's gonna give himself a shame to say,
I mean, that's a good point about us not playing Japan tonight. I mean, even the good shit teams ended up on the other side, didn't they?
Well,
do you know what I mean?
I don't know. I think it's a bit harsh in Japan. I think they did what they had to do. I think they did it very effectively. And somebody said at the start of the tournament that Japan would get out of their group and get into the knockout phase. The Japanese would have said this is brilliant. To get to a position where they had a chance of winning the game, that's dreamland stuff. And you can understand their heads going a bit because they weren't expecting to be there. They did, but like, do you know what I mean?
Like, let's not start making up stories for them. Like, they're no better or no worse than the teams around. They're no better or worse than Sweden, Switzerland, England, fucking Russia. Who they just fucking beat? Colombia. They're at that level. They're industrious. They fucking do a lot of graft and work and that's probably just being
very good technically.
That's actually probably being racist. If you go back and actually look at the fucking stats, they're probably not running any more than other teams. They just seem to be busy.
No, they were. No, I'll tell you what. I thought,
sound on the ball, like they were.
But I thought the Japanese were a good footballing side. Like most footballing teams that are progressing and they're coming out from being a nothing team to being a something team. They're a team that have regularly qualified for the World Cup, and you can see that their abilities, their technical abilities, are at the level that needs to be. They are still missing that bit of mentality, which is at the very top level. It's why the same teams always get to the same stage of the World Cup, because there is that mentality side, and you can't produce mentality. It happens. Look at Croatia. I know it's gas, but when Croatian tend to get into a knockout phase of a tournament, they nearly always get to the quarters or the semis.
They go to bits. The Balkan England.
But once they get to the semis, they seem to have a mental block in that they can't get any further. The Croatians.
Oh, Croatians.
Yeah, but what's got if that's England and fucking Croatia in the final, it's gonna be like a mental block off. The penalty shootout.
Both teams refuse.
The penalty shootout will go on for about 2 weeks. The Klopp will be calling the boys in saying, "Listen, we have a season coming up."
I can't wait to see the carry on out to Uruguay if they do get to the semi-final.
Oh, they are just. They're the shit. They're the biggest shit houses in the world, aren't they?
I don't think they are.
You know, they're
Uruguay haven't shit house in this tournament.
Oh, wait till they get to the semi-final.
They haven't though. They've defended brilliantly and they've relied on the quality.
They haven't had to yet.
Needed to go anywhere.
But you know what kills
when they need? No, listen, it's brilliant.
They've just been so clever though.
I love it.
Hang on, Steve. What's going to kill Uruguay now is Cavani not being available.
Is he not available
for the rest of?
Yeah.
Is he definitely not?
Handball. That hasn't been officially announced, but it's a handball.
But Phil knows. Hasn't been officially announced. Phil Riz. Phil Riz over there.
Look, the keeper from the South Coast that was signing that may be from the other hemisphere.
Yeah.
When they said the South Coast, they meant the Gold Coast. That's all I'm saying there. We'll get onto that in a bit.
He rhymes with Ratty.
He rhymes with Ratty Mine. And he also plays American football for the Atlanta Falcons.
Right, fuck the World Cup. Let's move on.
To the Falcons? Yeah, they're not. I don't know they're going to do much in the...
anyway, too early for that.
That's shite. Down to the woolshed for that shite.
Mick Jones.
Just have a quick before we get rid of the World Cup.
Jimenez definitely is underrated, mate. He's one of the highest rated young.
Just gone like...
No, I'm not getting rid of the World Cup talk.
Who's going to win it?
Because I want to say to you, right? No, I'm not. And I'll tell you why, right?
Go on.
Brazil are trapped under the horrific ego of Neymar.
Yeah, but they're built on a brilliant defence that nobody's talking about either.
Nobody is talking, but I will say one thing. It doesn't make a difference because Neymar is going to ultimately ruin Brazil's chances of winning the World Cup. They will be. They're not playing Firmino because Neymar wants Gabriel Jesus in the team because I think he feels that he'll be upstaged by Firmino. I honestly think that that's the case. I could see when Firmino scored, who was claiming it like he'd scored it himself. Neymar, big-headed wanker. I don't like him.
I really, really dislike him, but I don't think for a second he's actually calling the shots on who's...
He's not even the captain.
At club football, sometimes you can understand that because
not even the captain.
They demand a move. At international football, you don't get to do that.
He's not even the captain.
No.
Well, you do if you're Messi. He managed the bloody Argentinian team.
Yeah. Listen, that's because they had a fucking absolute potato seller fucking...
He was a top quality manager when he had the Chilean team.
5 years ago.
Well, it was before
6 years ago. He's lost his shit. He's on the fucking blow.
I'll go.
He's on the blow all the time. Him and fucking Diego.
It's the most. I'll put it this way. It's the most like England. It's the most unlikable Brazilian team I can remember. I don't want that Brazilian team to do well. Don't like them. I want them out of the tournament. I'd like to see them. Who would have got in the next round?
Belgium.
How Belgium bashed them. The problem I have with Belgium though is that Martinez is the manager and Henry is his assistant manager. Can't stand them.
Pair of fannies.
Can they both?
Belgium are England under Ericsson. Like.
The golden generation.
Unbelievable players in every single position. Yeah. Loads of depth. But just...
I was looking at that last night. Because
when they were 2-0 down last night, that's what it was. Everyone was like...
I was sat there and the missus hates football. Like she's no interest in it. But she happened to be sat there and was just watching it for a few minutes. And I was just explaining to her the value of that Belgian squad. Like when you look at 3 of the back 4, Courtois on goal, fucking...
Toby.
De Bruyne, fucking... No, but I'm saying De Bruyne, you had fucking Witzel, Hazard,
Lukaku.
You had Lukaku, you had fucking... what's his name? Fucking gone out to China from Carrasco. Yeah, like Chadley was the only one, and their rightful... I can't remember his name.
Money, but he's at PSG. He goes for mad money if anyone wants him.
They could almost afford an apartment in Killarney over
almost.
Whoa.
But I'll ask you this question, right? With Brazil being so unlikable, England being so unlikable, right? Belgium being managed by 2 goals.
I want France to win it. Because you know why? I just think
that's my shout.
Messi and Ronaldo, like they didn't do enough here. Like this could be the time for the baton to be fucking passed and for Mbappe to grab the next 3 games, like a young Ronaldo, and just claim the throne. Just come in and say,
is it Mbappe?
Kylian Mbappe.
Because to me, he reminds me more of a young Torres in his breakout World Cup.
Nah,
the one before he wins the World Cup.
Mbappe is like, it's like looking at Henry mixed with
Go back and watch Torres. Go back and watch Torres in his breakout.
He's a freak. He's a freak. Like you see the panic he just caused.
That's peak Torres.
It's mad to think we were linked with him last summer, weren't we?
But right, you remember peak Torres? Peak Torres was just phenomenal.
Yeah, he was a phenom.
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong. Torres had a poxy first touch.
No.
No, he didn't.
How many times did the ball pop out from Torres' foot and it was literally just because of pace?
Come here, I could go back and look at fucking. I'm not going to because the French league is shite. But you could go back and look at 30 PSG games and say the same thing about Mbappe. He's not. People have fucking mocked me, and I've said it in the group and everything. For me, he's not the finished article at that level. He has the ability to have those flashes of brilliance.
Like but he's 19. He's never
I know,
be.
Absolutely. But there are lots of players out there who are 19 who look like they had the world at their feet.
Not like him,
and never got past 22.
I honestly, a 19-year-old that has since he burst on for Monaco in that Champions League, the Champions League run that they had, everyone was talking about him, and they were like, this kid. There was loads of players at Monaco.
Henry was very like that.
But he wasn't even that good. When
Kluivert was.
Henry was a failed winger when Arsene Wenger.
No, hang on a second. When Henry broke out, you're talking about when Henry broke out for Monaco, he was like that.
Yeah,
everyone was talking him up as being the next.
And then he stalled at Juve.
Remember, it was the City games in the Champions League.
From Monaco to Juve.
Everyone was going, this Mbappe on the spot. Oh, is it the scoring? Or is it the scoring again? Jeez, he scored again. Then the semi-final against Juve.
I'm not disagreeing that he isn't going to be a quality player.
He's a freak.
He's having a thing, but I'm saying that I've seen similar players to him already come through, and I think he'll follow the same path as them. My biggest question for Mbappe is when his pace goes, and it will.
He's 19 though.
Yeah, but look, he's got 5-6 tournaments in front of him.
No, hang on a second.
Hang on, Michael Owen's pace went at fucking 23.
It's not. This comes down to players that are.
But Mbappe is not small either.
But it's not about being small. It's about one injury to a hamstring, and all of a sudden, I'm not saying it will happen. I'm saying that I don't want it to happen. I truthfully haven't watched enough of him because I watched fuck all football apart from Liverpool last season. I just made it.
Well, I can't remember. Honestly, and I'm not saying he's going to be, but remember when Messi burst on? Remember when Del Horno burst him at Stamford Bridge, and everyone was like, "This kid is going to be ridiculous."
Yeah,
I see that level in Mbappe where he just looks streets ahead of every other player.
Well, listen, is he going to go on and be like real Ronaldo?
He's going to be. You know what I mean? He's going to be Madrid's next number 9. That's big number.
We'll see, and I'll tell you why. Because if he does,
and I don't think they're after Neymar necessarily. I think that it could be a smokescreen for them to bring Mbappe in, and I think he'd actually be a better player.
Well, there's a mad situation going on there with Pierre. I know everyone was saying, "Oh, they get a slap on the wrist," but they can't just because they haven't actually paid for Mbappe.
No, he's 180 million or whatever.
So they have to do something about it. So.
When they get the 310 million for Neymar,
well, I reckon I reckon that does happen.
No, but seriously, when they get that, then all of a sudden their FFP is fixed.
Oh yeah, they can buy Mbappe and still have 100 million in the bank.
Still have 100 million to spend.
And to buy Adam Lallana.
Yeah. Look, moving along. So we don't like Brazil. We don't like Brazil.
Yeah.
We like Uruguay because basically Suarez plays for them. We don't like England because they're unlikable. Bar you two. Well, you like your English.
I don't. To be honest with you, I don't really mind them. But I just don't think they can win it.
Vardy. Fucking Minecraft cubed.
I'd love us to sign Vardy.
Lingard. Rather have Rijkaard.
I really don't like fucking. I really don't like Lingard.
Don't like Lingard. Like there's so many unlikable players. It's the pretendy likable England team, right? God. The next one then is
France.
France. But remember, and it's the same. They're being led by a little fella who looks a bit like Napoleon.
Well,
He'll do grand in Russia for a bit. And it'll fall apart. Look what happened. The Germans went into Russia, failed miserably again. Right. God. So basically, I think France get to the semi-finals. Who do they play in the semi-final? Probably
Brazil or Belgium.
I'd say Belgium. I think Belgium knock Brazil out.
Yeah. But the thing is, when
Belgium wins the World Cup, basically.
I don't think. But do you know what? I actually think if England were to play Belgium again in the final, that's the one game England can win. From
England versus Belgium.
Right. That's the one game. I think England is struggling against Uruguay because of mentality. I think they'd struggle against Brazil because Brazil.
You think England could do Belgium?
I think if they were to get to a final, it was England-Belgium. I think it'd be 50-50 game.
Yeah. England-Belgium, England win the World Cup. I never talk on a podcast again.
And imagine thinking that England win a World Cup or Roberto Martinez wins a World Cup. Jesus.
Jesus. No, he's playing for Brazil.
Don't even like you go beyond my wildest dreams.
So, Steve, who's winning?
I sound like a BBC presenter.
Steve, who's winning the World Cup? I'm going to stick with my big baldy friend Joe Walsh's tip, which I backed at the start. Uruguay. I think Uruguay have an excellent chance. If and it is hinging on Cavani being fit because those two boys up top.
Suarez is shy.
I think they have the ability to shut out France. I think they have the ability and did get past. They finished above Brazil.
No, Brazil won every game. Brazil won every game.
Okay. I'm just making shit up now.
No, 6 goals in the French league, making up start the stuff there is.
Well, I never said 6 goals.
I know you did.
Inventing stuff.
We can invent stats that
Shawnee, who's won the World Cup?
Brazil.
Okay, right.
France. I was impressed with the way they responded to.
I think when it comes to football like this, like stories are already written, and Brazil win the World Cup, and then Neymar does the big.
Off the back of that 7-1
and then Neymar, exactly. Neymar does the big transfery thing to Madrid, and then he's the golden boy now.
That's not bad. I reckon it's going to be Italy. I've said it since the start. I know it's England. England are winning this World Cup, and we can argue about it. We can knock it around. We can keep hope it's not going to happen. But England are winning the World Cup. Right, lads. I want to move it along because a lot is coming out after the World Cup because teams are getting knocked out. So Liverpool have signed Shaqiri tonight because obviously Switzerland got knocked out of the World Cup today. He just flew straight for a medical. Straight back from a medical. Straight into
Big Yorgi's pre-training camp.
But look, a lot of players have gotten knocked out of the World Cup, and there is potential now to do deals. And the team is back in training. So first of all, was it good to see the Reds back in doing the training?
Oh yeah.
Did you like to see the Keita and the Fabinho lad? I saw a picture of Fabinho and I did say to myself, "Who's your man?"